ladies and gentlemen. Today, I bear grave news. Today will be the last and final episode of Manga Alert. It was a shortcoming, but unfortunately, due to circumstances, we have to end the show.
We tried, but
So I went ahead and I asked Yer if he could create a montage of all of the great pieces of content that we here at the show have created for you all. The hours of entertainment and enjoyment that we have given to our audience is something that really kept us going. But I won't speak any further. Please give a moment of silence, and Yer, please roll the montage. Welcome back, everybody. Just kidding. You've been fooled. You've been pranked.
Fools.
That was a fucking bit.
Ha! Ha!
That was a
prank.
bit.
we're never leaving.
Manga Alert
You
is
can't
not canceled.
You can't cancel. You can't
We
cancel
are-
Manga Alert.
We are never. Yeah, we are not.
We are the number one manga podcast.
The number one manga podcast.
Through all the trouble times, through the heartache and through the pain, know that I will be there to stand by you, just like I know you'll stand by me. So come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Together we will find everything that we're looking for. There's always room for you if you wanna be my friend. We are on the cruise. We are.
Welcome to season 4. We're going to be having some new bits, some new comedic elements. We're going to be stirring the pot a little bit. We're going to be getting
God.
some guests back here on the show. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing a lot more people in the community wanting to join the Manga Alert podcast, see what we're all about, see what the number one podcast is like, and hope that they can achieve such greatness. Anyways, welcome everybody. Once again, joining us is Gear Third Manga and Shrug Pod, the two greatest Manga Alert hosts here in the nation.
Hello.
And I think today there's actually quite a bit of news that we have to talk to you about. We have a lot to catch up on, seeing
It
as
has been 4 months.
the
yes.
last episode was recorded over 4 months ago, so I
been a
think it's
while.
appropriate that we kind of talk about what's been going on. I think one of the greatest things that we have to say is that Samurai 8 is officially canceled as of a couple of weeks ago.
Sean,
Oh,
you
no.
can't make fun of that. You know, like it was a poor independent studio that worked on it. They're
Yes,
going to
you know,
lose
and,
their
and
jobs.
Masashi Kishimoto, you know, such a great mangaka. I mean, you know, I can't believe Jump canceled it. They ended the bit too early. They shouldn't have.
I've been seeing a great comparison going around, comparing Kishimoto to George Lucas, where basically he like created something in the beginning that was super great and well loved, but mainly because he had the help from all of his friends, and where Kishimoto had help from all the editors. But now, at this point, he had gotten so big that no one would dare get in the way of his creative vision. So, sort of what happened with George Lucas in the prequels, and now you have Kishimoto and Samurai 8. Except the
now-
only difference being, of course, the prequels were still financial
That is
successes.
an
so-
insult to the greatness that is episode 2. At least the writing in episode 2 is better than the writing in Samurai 8, okay?
Honestly, okay, I'm actually reading Samurai 8 right now because I said I would, just out of pure curiosity. I'm more than halfway through, which isn't saying much because it's only 5 volumes.
Oh.
But it's so weird. Like, it is not even like, I have no idea how to even describe it. It's so weird. Like, the pacing is insane. Like the first part of it is extremely slow, and then once they leave the planet, then it's like we're already into end game stuff. It's insane. There's like a battle royale arc that takes place over like 4 chapters.
What the heck is happening?
I think-
Like, what?
I think if you took every shonen trope and you crammed it all into one series, you get Samurai 8. Like this.
I think what kept happening is because where the reception was so low, I think they were like, okay, people don't like this, move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. So he kept having to like rush whatever
Yeah,
he was
refresh
doing,
some ideas.
and because of that, there's like so much info dumping all the time, and it never gives you time to breathe, and it's just a hot mess.
Well, I read
Yeah,
the first few chapters, and then including the what was it, like the introduction chapter, like chapter 0 or whatever, and it was so different from
Yeah.
like the flow of the rest of the series. Like they tried an idea,
Yeah.
and they said, "All right, this isn't going to work out. We need to change this." And then by chapter 5 and chapter 6, it's like, "What the fuck is this? Where's this going? Where's the plot and where's the story going to begin with?"
Yeah, like it doesn't actually go anywhere until like around chapter 15 or something, and by that point, everyone had already jumped ship.
Yeah, no.
So
No
Yeah,
surprise
and,
that it's canceled.
it's so great. Like Hachimaru, the main character, he's like a gamer,
Mm.
right? And so he's actually already good at combat because of a VR game he used to
Oh.
play. We find out that the VR game was actually created by his samurai master specifically to train people. So there's that. But then there's lines. It's like, I may not be a good samurai, but I'm a pro gamer. Like there's actually lines like that, and it's it's something. So
Yikes. It sounds to me like Samurai 8 was trying to be the next big Naruto.
yeah, it seemed like they went into it with such like confidence that it would be the next thing, and then when they realized it wasn't, they kind of just like scrambled to throw stuff together. I still don't know how
Yeah.
it ends, but I can't imagine it being that great.
It's definitely biggest downfall, and I think Kishimoto needs to probably take more time off before he even really starts getting into.
But that's the thing, like he had 5 years to,
I mean,
to do this.
that's
like, you would
fair,
think.
but like with Kubo, like he's not even like really the newest thing that he's put out is Burn the Witch, and that was just a straight copy and paste almost. So
And that is getting serialized, but that's only going to be like a volume. It's like
Yeah,
a mini series special
exactly.
thing, and it's only because they like begged him to do it. Like he didn't actually want to, but they were like, "Oh, please,
yeah, for sure. And the-
Kishimoto's not working. We need you."
And not only that, but just a small little nitpick, but the fact that more people are just now discovering or hearing about Burn the Witch ever since the anime coming back is rather intriguing to me. The fact that Burn the Witch was released well over like a year ago, 2 years ago.
It was 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't make too much sense to me why it is that it's getting notoriety this late in its lifespan.
Well, mainly here it's because the Viz Shonen Jump didn't give us all of the new stuff when Burn the Witch came out, but now they do. So they were like, "Oh yeah, Burn the Witch, it's here now. Remember?"
Yeah.
Burn the
Oh, what-
witch! Burn her!
The thing is that with manga influencers like James Hansen, you would think that this would have gotten more notoriety or attention, media attention for it, but it didn't. And now all of a sudden it happens ever since the anime coming back was announced. It's just it to me, I find it weird that maybe anime is less niche than manga. I think that's probably safe to say.
Oh, for sure.
And
yeah.
here in the
I mean-
States, I feel like with
Yeah.
Bleach coming back, it's just been a random surge of just people coming
Yeah.
into the fandom.
Because if you look at all the people hyped for Bleach, I mean, I'm not saying some manga fans aren't, but like most of them are anime onlys who are like, "Oh man, Bleach! I finished watching that in 2012. They're making more. I can't wait."
Yeah, no, just to me seems a little bit silly that they're doing that, but you know what? It is what it is. I'll probably check it out just to see what's going on, see if they maybe fixed some of the shitty backgrounds from the manga. Just panels of white and black backgrounds with nothing in the scenery or foreground.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have no backgrounds than Samurai 8 backgrounds. So
Yeah. Well, Samurai 8 backgrounds are, pretty much all over the place.
yeah.
I mean,
oh, boy.
after Bleach got the return, I mean, I'm just saying, this is making me hope the Soul Eater's gonna get remade.
No.
That has nothing to do with this. All I'm saying, it's gonna happen.
No.
I'm hopeful, but also, I mean, if Bleach is coming back, it's just, come on. It's like, come on.
As much as I want that to happen, I really don't think it is.
I don't think it is either, but it's like, I can hope.
Well, they did announce those, what was it, the Perfect Editions? From,
They're coming out like May or June. It's like,
Well, we don't know about that right now, because another big piece of news is we are in the middle of a global plague.
Oh, yes. We are suffering from Kony 2012. In case anyone didn't forget, we have it back. It's now Kony 2020, so just remember that, okay?
Yeah. So yeah, we're not actually sure if the Soul Eater volumes will be out on time or not.
Kodansha is printing them, I'm pretty sure. Kodansha?
No, it's Square Enix. They're like starting to publish their manga in English now.
Interesting.
they're really trying to push, because so the first volume is supposed to come out in May, and then Volume 2 is supposed to come out in July, Volume 3 will be in September, and it's like, they're releasing these, like, pretty well. By the end of the year, we should have it, like, at least, like, 4 or 5 volumes.
I'm really interested to see the quality, because where this is, like, a new publisher in English, it'll be interesting.
Because, I mean, I'm going to be getting these for sure, and so I'm just...
Yeah, if they're really good, then I'll probably replace them with my singles. But otherwise, like, if they're kind of crap, then I don't think I'd bother. But
it's like the Full Metal editions, like, I was really pumped for those.
Oh, wait, these are hardcovers?
Yeah, they're
I
hard
didn't know
covers.
that. Oh,
yeah.
That's more interesting.
So
wow.
that's why I'm kind of skeptical, because this was the same thing I was thinking about a year or two ago with the Full Metal editions, and man, those are not good. Like I do not like those.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same. Like they're really well built.
They're
but
okay.
I just don't like how the paper feels.
Yeah,
it's
I think probably the best way to describe them is that they're definitely better than the crappy Viz Paper 3-in-1s that they released.
Oh God, yes.
Those are crap.
Anything's
and
better than those,
I would definitely steer clear from those if you're planning on starting a collection. I mean, that is the bare bone. Like, this is nothing good about it. The quality is terrible. So, I mean,
especially when there's like box sets available. Like, if you want to own the series really for cheap, like that's the way you would go. Like,
I am still a single enthusiast, so I will always recommend the box set over the hardcovers and the omnibuses. But I mean, if you find these Full Metal editions for a decent price, then it's again probably the best way of reading it.
I mean, because it's hard for me to want to give up my single volume for Soul Eater, just because, man, I really love the spines. Like, they're probably like some of my favorite spines. I just that like. And especially if, like, you know, the final few volumes turns to, like, a darker color.
Yeah,
and
I love that, but I don't like how the final volume is white again. Like, I wish they had just kept getting darker and darker, and the last one was, like, black, but they just turned it white again.
To me,
so.
yeah,
and then,
to me that doesn't make much sense. I don't really care. That, as far as the spine alignment goes, I don't really care for that. Like, it goes from white to dark to white again. Like, no.
See, it made sense to me. Like, I thought that it made sense of how, like, you know, it's like the ending, and so it's going back to that original color. So I was kind of like,
I know. I just feel like it should have stayed that way, because I mean, this was like the climax of the story. It was all crazy and stuff. I would have liked that there, but oh well. Anyway, but speaking of new hardcover omnibuses, you guys know what I'm about to say?
So, yes,
oh boy.
Blade of the Immortal.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I hate this so much.
This is going to be the third version of Blade of the Immortal to come out, and the second to come out within a 3-year span, which is absolutely insane.
The last omnibus came out like 5 months ago. It's been 5 months, and they announced. Basically, for those who don't know, Dark Horse announced that they're going to be doing a new Blade of the Immortal edition in the style of like the Berserk Deluxe editions, like these massive 3-in-1 hardcovers, which is fine and all, except they just did 3-in-1s for Blade of the Immortal.
So here's the thing. A lot of people are surprised about this. I am not at all surprised. I did a video about this probably close to over 2 years ago now, ranting about the Gantz omnibuses and how instead of reprinting the singles, they were going to make new omnibuses for the series. And so the talk about all this has been because of sales. Dark Horse has gone on numerous accounts and occasions of saying and stating in interviews that the reason a lot of these series that they're doing, that they've dropped, is due to sales. Singles just do not sell like omnibuses. Omnibuses are just cheaper to manufacture. More people buy them up because there's more value there as opposed to a single volume. And keeping a single volume in print just is not business smart, if that makes any sense. So for me, the fact that they're making these hardcover editions, because not only has Blade of the Immortal become one of their biggest sellers in recent years, it is also because Berserk, these hardcover editions, these deluxe editions, have made them money. They have been selling like hotcakes, and I mean, it is probably financially in Dark Horse's best interest to want to publish this, because they would probably make a lot of money from this. So
the problem I and a lot of other people have is that they just released
and so
3-in-1
that's the issue, is that
years.
It's alienating though your customers that just purchased these omnibuses. And so
like, that's the thing, like, yeah, in January I finally bought the last one, and I was like, oh yeah, I finally have the new thing. And then a couple months later they're like, oh yeah, that whole thing you spent so much money on, well now we're making a better version. Screw you.
Yeah, no, to me it almost seems like it was like a test the water scenario, like if the series is good enough, can we make money off of this?
But that's such, I know, but that's such a weird way to go about it.
It's
and
business.
Also, and you know, all the 3-in-1, like the paperback 3-in-1s, they're all going to be out of print now forever.
Oh, well, yeah,
like,
I mean, but here's what you can do, Gary. You can sell them on eBay for $500 and make some money, you know?
That is, I mean...
Some collector might be into that. And, I mean, I'm not really too bothered by it. I'm a huge Blade of the Immortal fan. I consider it to be one of my all-time favorite series of all time, and I will be double-dipping for these. So
yeah, I'll have a review out coming soon, but it is pretty amazing. It's also
for me
one of my favorites.
I think probably the biggest pet peeve is, and I really hope that cover's not official, but that to me,
that looked ugly.
It's stupid. Like, why would you make a low res JPEG and squeeze the frame down to like 540 by 190 and put that as your front cover? It doesn't make any sense.
Gosh, dude, it was so garbage. Like, I looked at it and I was like, I really hope that that's not it.
Out of all the things,
I mean, it does seem like it, because I mean, it has like the leather
just
cover,
the worst
and the
idea
logos and stuff.
No,
yeah,
like that.
Honestly, like that, they should have just like reskinned the Berserk one. Like,
yeah, put. Well, I guess they couldn't put a swastika on there. That would definitely
I just thought of that. Yeah.
That would. I don't think that would get sales, but yeah.
I would get sales in all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'll be buying it on day one, probably once it comes out, and give maybe a thoughts or impressions on it.
Yeah. Anyway, so
what are you all doing in the community?
So what have we all been
who's
reading
uploading
during this global pandemic? What's
nothing.
Wow, you're a fake weeb. Why are you even here?
Nah, I'm joking. I have currently been reading through just random stuff. I'm reading through Solanin right now. I read through all of the first arc of JoJo's. I'm kind of going just through random stuff. I read a little bit. I read through Noragami again, and now I'm just trying to get people to like Full Metal Alchemist with me. I'm trying to constantly tell people like, hey.
Oh, you're trying to persuade some normies into the.
Oh yes, like
Full Metal Alchemist is pretty normy. I think you should have a pretty easy time convincing people to get into that.
I mean, it's pretty. Like, it's just the thing of, hey man, this is a really good series. Please, like, you're gonna like it.
The only problem with that is that if you start off very strong, their expectations are only going to be that
is
in terms of quality. So
it's kind of weird, because it's like you want your friends to appreciate anime, so you start them off with like one of the best ones, but then it's like everything after that might be a disappointment.
No, see, I don't care. At this point, I'm like, you just watch Full Metal Alchemist. It's like, all right.
It's like, it's awesome, yeah.
I agree.
I've gotten some of my friends into anime. One of my friends, I don't think he listens to this, but once I got him into Full Metal Alchemist, he was like, oh yeah, anime's awesome. and we share a Crunchyroll account, so I can see what he was watching next. And one day I went on and saw he had watched 40 episodes of Black Clover. I was like, oh, what have I done?
You've created a hellspawn.
Oh, wait, I didn't get to tell the story because we haven't had a cast yet. You guys know the story, and I texted you all one day. So, I went to class. I went to the first day of class.
Right! Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, so it's super weird, and I don't even know this guy's name, but I went to class. Went to class one day, and this was like an entirely new semester. I had to travel like 2 hours to get to school, like 3 days a week, just because of my location and everything that's weird going on and my major. So what happened is it's my first day, and so, we're all introducing ourselves, and I'm just trying to get to know everybody. Well, this one girl brings up that she has like a podcast, and that like she talks about like creepypastas and stuff. And so I was like, okay. And then this guy's like, yeah, I don't really, like, I listen to a lot of, like, nerdy podcasts. And then he, like, mentioned, like, a couple. And he says, yeah, I watched this one called Manga Alert. And, like, I literally was drinking, like, a cup of water. And I spit up my water onto the carpet of this classroom. And so my teacher just kind of gives me this weird look. And I said, I'm so sorry, I'll clean that up. I choked. And, like, I just got up and I walked out of the classroom. And my eyes were, like... I swear, I was like sitting here like seeing stars. I was like, what just happened? Like this guy, we don't have like a million listeners. So the fact that this guy living in like really like reasonably close to me comes up and says that, I was kind of like, oh my gosh. So I instantly just text everybody. I was like, guys, I said this guy like watches our podcast. I was like, I don't know his name. And they said, well, did you, like, tell him who you were? I was like, no, absolutely not. I was like, but it's cool. And so I just kept on, freaking out about it for the entire rest of the time. It was really funny.
Yeah, that is insane, because, like you were saying, like, we get maybe, like, an average of 600 views per podcast. So I haven't checked Spotify, but it's lower there. But, like, yeah, the fact that you actually ran into someone in real life, and, like, you didn't even, like, bring it up to them. Like, they just said it. Like... That's insane.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so funny.
And not only that, but I think the big shocker is that you come from a place that's not like the biggest, most bustling city. It's more of like a rural area of the country, so that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, but like where I go to school is like even like it's still not that. And see, I don't even, like, live near this guy. Like, he's, like, 2 hours away from me.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
so this is why we're the #1 manga podcast. Who can say that they've listened to us?
Yeah, because I've never ran into anyone, I think, in real life who knew me from YouTube. I mean, like, I've gotten a few comments like, oh, hey, I've been to your city before, and that's about it. But... Yeah, pretty wild.
Fascinating.
And it's because, like, if he, say, listens to the podcast but never saw your videos, he wouldn't have recognized your face. So,
but that's like the thing. I guess that he's only listened to the podcast because my videos show my face. So
yeah, so he probably would have recognized you.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
videos,
it was just kind of, it was really weird. It was super weird. I can't.
You should have been like, hey man, I listen to Manga Alert too.
Well, honestly, I was thinking of like asking him to be on like, oh, but I should have asked him to be like, oh, dude, like, who's your favorite host? Who's your least favorite host? But then, like, he hasn't shown back up to class. Like, this guy hasn't shown back up, so I haven't been able to ask him. I'm just like, and...
It's like, who's your favorite host? It's like, well, I like Garen Shaman, but I don't like that screaming kid.
Yeah, I was kind of, like, if he would have said that, I would have been all, like, facts. Like, speaking, like, I just would have went along with it. And I would just been like, it's just weird that I've met you.
What if he's, like, listening now and he's just like, oh shit?
Well, that's the thing. If we're saying this now, he's gonna know who you are, Shrug.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I don't think so. A lot of people could just be like, maybe if somebody
Well-
else has done the same thing, they're like,
Well-
in my class is the
Well,
host.
I was going to say, like, listening to this might motivate him to go to class, but then I realized that no one can go to class right now, so
I'll probably never see this guy again. Like, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
he missed his chance.
Well, I've been reading a really awesome series. It's called Animal Crossing, and I have poured nothing but hours of just this wonderful, wonderful novel that I've been reading. It's over 10 million pages long, so I'll probably be reading it for a while now. And
Yes, I've also been reading Animal Crossing. It's very, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, there definitely is. There's a lot.
It's a bit of a slow burn, but it's very satisfying, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it hurts so bad it feels good,
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, I've been reading Samurai 8, which has not been fun. I've also, oh god, I read a bit more Demon Slayer, which is the thing. I got to the part where everyone said it got good, and it didn't really. It was just kind of fine. So
It didn't really.
but basically, like, after the anime, like, they have a movie coming out for the Infinity Train arc, which is an arc where they all go onto a train and fight demons on the train. And everyone was saying how insane it was and how it's like the best thing ever. So I was like, all right, I'll try that. It was only like 20 chapters, so I read it and I was like, well, that was like the most okay thing I've ever read. Like, the series isn't really like, I wouldn't call the series bad. It's just like it's just
average.
action. Like, yeah, it doesn't do anything that makes me upset, and it's like it's a fun, decent, quick read, but it's kind of just there. Like, I don't really see this series doing anything like new or super original, but it's just fine enough. Although the movie you're never gonna hear the end of that movie, because like once they get the good animation and like the emotional soundtrack in when like there's a death scene, people are gonna lose their minds. But yeah, so there's that. I don't think I've read too much else. I mean, like, I finished up Blade, which was really fantastic. Like, the whole like last few volumes especially are incredible. But yeah, other than that, I've just been keeping up with the usual weekly and monthly stuff, and not too much else going on here. Mashle is great. Mashle's a brand new Shonen Jump manga. It's like it's a Harry Potter parody, basically. Like, it's so shamelessly ripping off Harry Potter that it's kind of hilarious. But that's been fun. And yeah, other than that, not too much else. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing.
This is like our moment to shine, because we really can't do anything else. So it's like, well, time to finally, and for Gear's case, he probably has like 70 series. And he's like, I can finally start it because of my 7,000 volume manga collection.
Gear doesn't have anything to do anyway. He comes from a place that has like less than like 30,000 people.
I have less.
Yeah, okay, no, I mean, this city had, like, in the metro area here, there's about 200,000, but, I mean, yeah, we're still, I mean, I'm not missing out on much being stuck indoors.
He can go see the giant duck that he paid for with his taxpayer money.
Woohoo!
He can go to the local pub, and I mean the local pub. It's literally the only thing that's there.
It's the only pub. Well, I mean, I have a town that has, like, 9,000 people, so, like, that's even less.
Yeah, that's way smaller, yeah. Because, like, at least this is still, like, a city. Like, we still have things here.
Yeah,
but, like, you probably have nothing. Like, do you even have a bookstore? I mean...
No, we do not have a bookstore. So I have... Yeah. So, basically, I live in, like, the middle of two major cities in my state, but I still have to drive, like, half an hour if I want to go do anything fun, or if I just want to go get a book. That's why I simply just order stuff off of the internet. That's why I do it so much. It's just because it saves me the gas.
Well, I was going to say, Shrug, so your Phoenix volumes that you found those at a comic shop or a bookstore?
Okay, I found those. So I was on a camping trip in the middle of Johnson City, and they were like...
Johnson City?
Yeah, Johnson City.
That's amazing.
And so we were on, like, the state line of, like, North Carolina and Tennessee. So I was in a Books-A-Million, and they had, like... Okay. But that Books-A-Million had they had trade-ins. Like, you could, like trade stuff in, and I never heard of that. And so I was like looking, and I see these 3 Phoenix volumes. I'm like, holy frick! I was like, wow. And so I got them, and I was just like, I texted Gear first, and I said, okay, Phoenix is the one I need to be looking for, right? He said, holy crap, those are 3 volumes of Phoenix. I said, he was like, how much are they like a piece? I was like, they're like $15 a piece. He said, get those now. And so I was like, okay. So I like instantly like just ran to the front desk. I said, I'm gonna get these, and I got them in my bag, and I went home, and I was like, do I really want to read these? And I was like, do I really want to be getting into this, like, wanting to collect this series? Because there's a good chance I could never get all of them.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
hang
So
on.
there's
Let
actually-
me backpedal
Oh,
on
yeah,
that,
go
though,
ahead.
real quick. You said you didn't know what a trade-in was?
No. I knew what a trade-in was, but I didn't. No, I've never seen a Books A Million that like you can come trade your stuff in.
Oh, I was going to say, like, what? Like, you don't know what trading is?
No, a lot of my books I get from a store. We have this set of bookstores that it's kind of like a chain, but there's only 5 of them, and they exist like in like northern Tennessee into like southern North Carolina, and there's 5 of them. They're called McKay's, and they sell like I got the second volume of Buddha, the first volume of Blade of the Immortal, and then the first volume of Lone Wolf and Cub, as well as this like the sequel story to Orange. I got them each for $3 a piece. So like they sell
value.
like it's used, but like some of them are really good quality. Like they do a lot of good quality control and make sure that people aren't just buying garbage.
So there's one piece of news that we forgot to mention, and this is a very massive and prolific manga series ended a few days ago. I know Shrug is a really huge fan, but the 7 Deadly Sins has finally ended. For real this time.
Oh, for real this time? Did everyone die?
Well, I don't know how it ended. Well, I kind of do, but basically, the minute it ended, they announced the sequel series. So,
Good.
have you seen what Meliodas' kid looks like? I mean, spoilers for anyone who cares. I don't think anyone cares.
The
but
artwork in
Meliodas
Seven
was a
Deadly
kid.
Sins is fucking trash. I don't
Yeah,
understand how people
I know, but like here,
think that.
I'm just sending his child in the chat. Look at this.
Oh yeah,
Look
I
at this.
forgot. Like,
Looks like
oh my god.
it looks like an OC. That's how
Oh
bad.
my
Yeah,
god.
it's
yeah,
literally-
It does.
They just like took traits from the mom and dad and like mix match. I don't even know if this kid's a boy or a
No,
girl.
I have no idea either.
If this is the main character of the sequel series, we're doomed. But
Boruto, the next generation. Oh god.
yeah, this was a weird series because like I think even more than Fairy Tail, like the final arc completely made everyone turn on it. I don't ever see anyone talk about liking the 7 Deadly Sins anymore, when it used to be like one of the biggest shonens, but now like everyone seems to be like, oh yeah, it last year or so it was horrendous. So
I believe Demon Slayer is shortly going to be falling into that same category here, more than likely.
well, it depends. I'm just curious to see because like Demon Slayer has been in the final battle for a while, so I have no clue when they're planning on wrapping that up, if they are. I mean, it's entirely possible that they're like, oh, well, let's make Demon Slayer Part 2 now, because we announced it was ending before it sold 30 million copies in this year. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I am interested to see that. Which, yeah, by the way, it sold so many copies, it's kind of unheard of. Like, it... I don't even understand it. It's selling like 2 million copies a week. Even last week during the pandemic, it sold 1.5 million copies.
It's insane.
I mean, like I said, it's not terrible, but it's just so weird how it's this series that's blowing up so much. Like, especially when like before the anime, a lot of series, like even like popular series, like even before the anime, they were still popular, but Demon Slayer was just kind of like there, and no one really cared about it. Like, I've never seen an anime boost this big, I don't think. I mean, well, that's because we've never seen a manga really sell this much. So, yeah. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I just don't know how it all happened.
I mean, it's a mix of a lot of things, but yeah, it's still so weird to see because
Twitter stands.
comparing it to like all the big, like when Attack on Titan sold so much, when like even One Piece and Naruto and Bleach at their peaks, like it's outdoing those as well. It's so insane.
Well, I can tell you one thing: Twitter and Tumblr stands. That's who made it big.
I don't think Tumblr's a thing anymore.
Instagram,
but,
whatever all the kiddos are using nowadays, whatever.
Yeah, I remember Ninja endorsed Demon Slayer.
Oh,
that's
Ninja is
why.
a fucking idiot. You know what he's been saying? He's like, how is it possible that a NFL kicker can miss a field goal? All they have to do is kick a ball. And then someone replied to that and said, how is it possible for a pro Fortnite player to miss a shot in Fortnite? And his response was like, oh, that's apples and oranges. That doesn't make any sense. Fucking idiot. I don't know how someone that stupid exists, but you know what? That just goes to show you that no matter how bad or how stupid somebody is, it doesn't stop or end someone's success. Like, I feel the same way about Demon Slayer. It may not be the worst piece of shit or like the worst series I've ever read or have like come into contact with, but it is not something, like Gear was saying, that you would imagine is something that outsells one of the best series, let alone shonen series, in our lifetime, One Piece, which Demon Slayer it's like, what, a 3-year-old series? 2-3 years?
4 years, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's 200 pages, or 200 chapters, so about 4 years.
That to me is just insane.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, like One Piece's peak, it sold 38 million in a year, and that's been like the record for like 10 years or so. That was like in 2010 when that happened. Demon Slayer has already sold 30 million in 2020. So
What the frick? How is that like?
I know, like that doesn't even sound possible. Like
Like somebody, okay, maybe somebody's fudging something. Like,
well, no,
I don't believe.
Well, like
that.
the main reason this is happening is because basically everyone is buying the entire backlog. So like a single person will buy like all like 17 or so volumes, and like that's why the number is so high. Whereas you have One Piece, which has like 90 volumes. There's a lot less people buying all the backlog. But I mean, it's still. It's still really insane, and like they keep like running out of stock and having to keep reprint them all, and yeah, it's something else, man.
A significantly smaller and less chapters for a story in a manga, and if you're saying that it's starting to get to the finish, then I don't know what we're looking at as far as volume count goes. Like, are we talking like 20 volumes, 25 volumes?
Well, the interesting thing about Demon Slayer, for some reason, the volumes are really behind. Like, last time I checked, there's like 30 or 40 chapters not in the volume yet. So if I just pulled up a list here. Yeah, there's 19 volumes right now, which goes up to chapter 165, but there's 200 chapters now.
So we could be talking a 30, 35 plus volume series then.
Oh, no. Well, let's see. If we add them up, there's like 20. I'd say like probably 25.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll see. It depends if they go to extend it or not. But that's the thing. Like, they're still gonna have, even if it ends like next week, there's still gonna be volumes for the rest of the year. So I don't think the sales are gonna slow down at all.
No.
I mean, obviously this pandemic will probably take a hit with them, but they're already so high that like I wouldn't be surprised if it hits like 40, 50 million by the end of the year.
So that also brings me to my other question, is that with talks about how a lot of these other creators are creating sequel series after finishing their own, do you see Demon Slayer as a sequel-worthy series?
I have no idea. Like, I'm not even halfway through the series yet, so I don't really know like what's going on in the story at this point, if they can even give it a sequel. Like, right now it's basically just the main character trying to he's taking on missions, hunting demons, eventually hoping to find a way to turn his sister. He's like collecting the blood of the demons to bring to this researcher who is trying to find a way to turn his sister back or something. And that's all it's been so far, them just going on missions. so I have no clue like what's been happening now. I mean, most people do seem in agreement that it like is at the final climax of the final arc. So who knows? Maybe we'll follow Nezuko. Nezuko will turn into a human and she'll become a demon slayer, and we follow her. I have no idea.
Yep. I mean, as far
yeah.
as any big series goes that makes a lot of money, I would not be surprised if this catches.
Yeah, it's just weird, like how the series, because like this series was doing well, but not like super well. So they were like, yeah, we'll end it. But then the boost happened, like after they had already decided to go into the final arc. So it's a really weird situation.
Yep.
But, yeah.
I mean, I could definitely see it then as a sequel potential series. End it where it is right now, and then create Demon Slayer Shippuden or something, and have like a 10-year time skip or something like that.
Time
scap. You know, Scatman.
Yeah.
Scatman's World.
Scatman's World. Let's go,
right.
baby.
We're gonna make that the theme song for this week's episode. Just noting that now.
You know, going back on like the Seven Deadly Sins, because I just like looked up and I kind of like skimmed through the final chapter. Like it made me it made me really realize, because I was thinking about doing a video for a long time of like why certain series have like failed, like Fairy Tail and the Seven Deadly Sins, because I really liked these series at the beginning, but then there always came to a point of where I was like, oh, like why? And then it just all like it broke my entire enjoyment of the series, because I liked the Seven Deadly Sins for a while because I liked the art, not necessarily like the fights. The fights were just like a bunch of lines. It was really messy, and so, but I like looking back on it, I really like the color pages that that the Seven Deadly Sins has, but it's just like it just fell off for me. And I was just like
I said, I mean,
why?
I mean, even though I don't like it, I mean, it was like at one point one of the top sellers. A lot of people said it was one of the best shonen manga running. So, and like no one says that anymore. Like even with Fairy Tail, how bad Fairy Tail got, there were still people who were still like religiously following it or whatever. But with Seven Deadly Sins, like I don't know anyone who stuck with it until the end. Like even for Neverworld, who was like a massive fanboy, like he made a video about it ending, but he was like, "Yeah, I haven't read it in like 2 years because I heard it got terrible." Right? Like, so it's really weird. I mean, I'm kind of curious, but I'm definitely like, this is 40 volumes. There's no way I'm reading this.
Here's the thing, not to go on a tangent here, but as far as sales go, and just to kind of respond to Shrug and how Fairy Tail and Seven Deadly Sins were failures. Financially, that doesn't seem to be the case, because these mangas were big sellers globally.
Sure.
I mean, we're talking like these were manga top 10s for at least 3 to 4 years for a lot of these series.
But that is another thing, like they were in the top 10 for several years, but then by the end they were like they were still selling a lot, but they had fallen quite a bit.
Well, for sure, definitely. And I mean, it was the same case with Bleach and how it was going on for so long, and eventually it was like, all right, wrap it up. Like, we're not generating any revenue here. So,
financially speaking, like those series did extremely well, and it's great that these creators got their stories out there. But it's like at the same time, like I hate it when I really think a series has good potential, because I love the atmosphere of the Seven Deadly Sins, but it just I really did, because I love, like, I'm a sucker for medieval stuff, and so when that's really weird how like the three of these series I'm mentioning, and they all kind of had like that same atmosphere, but it's like it was just I really enjoyed them, and then I don't know, it just financially they did good, but I really hate how a series can sell really well, but then just, kind of fall off in terms of quality.
I feel like the creators, like most mangaka, just don't expect their series to be big like this. So when it becomes big like this, they kind of get like overwhelmed, and let's tell a huge massive story because we can now, but where they didn't plan it out before, it can become a bit of a mess. Not to mention like the stress and workload of being a mangaka. But yeah, because like with like the best manga, you see like they've always been planned out from the beginning. but with a lot of things like Fairy Tail and Bleach and whatever, it's like clear that they they had an ending planned and then they added 20 more volumes to it. So, yeah.
Unless you're Horikoshi.
Oh, Horikoshi's a genius. He had it all. Anyway,
let's hang on, Gear. We gotta address what you just said. Horikoshi is a genius. What
I'm just saying.
What
the last
in your
several
what in your
chapters
right
have been-
mind gets you to imply that he is a genius?
Well, I mean,
when
that was a bit of an exaggeration.
all of his work, he is literally the living, breathing Masashi Kishimoto bastard child who rips off every single thing in media in order to create a manga series. Everything about that series is a ripoff.
I'm gonna be the best manga.
Is a ripoff of the legend itself, Sky High, which was a great Disney film. Gotta love
I'll give
that
you that.
movie.
It definitely took a few things from Sky High.
And the Star Wars covers, like, why would you do that to something like
Although
that?
I'm pretty
as
sure
legendary
he,
as Star Wars.
I'm pretty sure he gave up on Star Wars like most people because he used to like do a bunch of fan art and stuff, but after the last couple movies, he just stopped.
And not only that, but he even ripped off the ripoff itself, Naruto, in one of his covers.
Well, I think the Naruto cover was also the Star Wars cover. Like, it was like a double homage.
Look at this. Triple plagiarism. Gotta love it. If Base was here, we would be having a really in-depth discussion on why My Hero Academia is complete and utter garbage, and it sucks.
We should do that. We should. It's been
It
like,
should be burned.
I wouldn't mind doing an updated My Hero cast, but yeah, we'll see.
I'll just be in the background.
Yeah.
I
you just
don't mind
we'd be
me
talking about it, and
and
you wouldn't know what's going on, and just be like, oh, terrible.
my 5-volume synopsis of why I feel My Hero Academia is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't deserve to even be considered to be one of the top series of all time. I'd rather read all of Haikyuu than have to put up with
that's
My
not.
Hero.
I've actually been reading or watching Haikyuu, and it's actually amazing. So you can shove that.
Look at that. Is it better than My Hero?
I mean, it's a very different type of.
Don't
series,
say that they're
obviously.
different. Don't say they're different. Is it better than My Hero Academia?
Based on what I've read or based on what I've seen, which is a season and a half, probably.
Gear just ended the hype of My Hero Academia. That is all it's been, is endless hype of people saying it's the greatest shonen manga of all time. I can't live with it. I can't live with people who have.
Oh wait, there's people who are like, I'm a huge fan, but I'm not saying that it's one of the best of all time.
I mean, it is the normie shonen manga of our generation.
It got so big. I picked up the first volume and I thought I was the coolest kid on the freaking block. And then all of a sudden, I see T-shirts and Hot Topic. And I'm scared to go in there. And
Have you seen there's a Monopoly? So they made like a Monopoly My Hero.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa, that's how you know
Bro,
it's a big
like,
series when it gets its own Monopoly board game.
Like, what the heck, man? Like, I can't.
Anyway,
what the frick,
so-
man? It's like I can't deal with
Before
that.
we move into the aftercast, we want to look at a few comments from the last podcast to respond to.
Oh, of course.
I have a few really spicy ones here. Let's find my favorite. Here we go. I loved Base Senpai and Gear. I hate Shaman 70% of the time, and Kick Shrug. Gear is the second best manga YouTuber.
Only the second best. I think that's something we should address more than anything else.
You see, the thing is, where he says he loves Base Senpai and Gear, I have a feeling that Base might actually be his first, which is kind of alarming.
Yeah, a little bit. I would definitely say that your idol should not be Base Senpai. Let's just.
I mean, it could have been, but if it wasn't Base 2, who else could it be? Because all the other channels are dead.
Well, Harold maybe.
Oh, Harold.
He was a manga tuber for a one upload here for the JoJo cast.
Well, but remember Harold actually had his own channel for like a week.
My favorite was his balloon deflation video. That one was a hit. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Here's a good one. Shaman's criticism of the quintessential quintuplets was completely nonsensical and bullshit. How do you respond to this, Shaman?
Well, for instance, any ecchi shonen rom-coms are complete.
But it's not ecchi.
and utter garbage and bullshit. And if you've read any shonen rom-coms, you'll know that they are all the same. They're all really long. They're all unnecessarily filled with stupid plot holes and stupid actual scenarios like, let's go to the beach. Let's do a chapter in an amusement park. Let's do a spa scene. It is just the most tropey, crappy, unenjoying series that you can imagine on the planet. And the only people that read shitty shonen rom-coms are those who are alone, have no friends, and also do not have a love life. So
what series is this?
Just think of that, okay? So
what series is this?
Quintessential Quintuplets.
But
Okay.
it's not like that at all.
Another piece of shit series that has its focus on having 5 people that are supposed to be identical but don't look identical. And this retard has to figure out which one he loves the most.
We can't say that here. We can't say that.
This is why iTunes won't approve our podcast.
You know what, iTunes? Here's what I have to say to you. It's a fucking bit. It's a fucking bit.
Well, I have some more. Sales numbers, whether it be manga, video games, or whatever else, more often than not are just an indicator of how terrible the average person's tastes are. So I guess this is a response to Base Senpai, who thinks that sales equal quality.
Ooh, I hate to tell you, buddy, that's not it.
From our good buddy Drew, who is one of the youngest members of my server, the first 45 volumes of One Piece are prequels. I can see an argument for that.
No, it's because we were talking about I was talking about like the Thriller Bark thing, and he got really upset that he got upset because I was all like, you know, if people need like a small start to One Piece, I said you can start there.
You said to just read
and then
start with Thriller Bark. Like, oh yeah.
No, hold on. I literally explained this last time. Yeah, I didn't say start there. I said it's a small arc. If you enjoyed that, you'll probably enjoy the rest. I
remember you saying it's a good starting point. I swear.
I never said. I did not. I literally remember saying this. You can go back and quote me. Gear, go back to it, and you can literally prove my point and expose me if I am saying wrong.
Fishman Island was such a good arc. Start with that one and work your way backwards.
No.
Work your way backwards from One Piece.
No, okay.
That's just a decrease in quality. Like it starts horrible and it actually gets good.
Do not start at Thriller Bark. All I'm saying is if somebody were to start there, it wouldn't be bad.
Why are you talking like a robot?
Because I'm trying to make a point.
You're gonna get more hate comments again.
Shrug, you're gonna end up getting kicked off next episode. I have a feeling that this is gonna be the end result of
I feel like this is
your ill will.
Well, you know, in between the One Piece thing, the hate on Death Note, and me not picking up on Bill Hader, I feel like those 3 reasons are gonna get me kicked off.
To be honest, I'm surprised not a lot of people have said that I have horrible takes and horrible opinions as much as I thought I would get, because I would imagine me saying and criticizing their favorite My Hero Academia chapter and quintessential quintuplet ship, you know, I wouldn't be surprised.
But it's like, I mean, I can get the quintessential stuff, but it's like, you know, you used to be on like a real seinen craze. Like I just. Did you ever get any hate for that? Like, I was like sitting here like,
because only smart intellectuals like seinen. So if you're an idiot, and you're of course gonna get butthurt about it, but thankfully no idiots exist in our comment section. Cool Kid is one of our best viewers that we have. Here on the show.
I think people are generally like. I mean, there are some clowns here, but like, I do think people are generally like accepting of our different opinions, but you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's not an opinion. It's a fact that Quintessential Quintuplets is a shitty series.
Now, you see, that might get you some flack.
See, all I'm saying, guys, is like, you guys are cool fans. We think you're cool. We're glad that you don't all hate us.
Okay, and right before we go into the aftercast, one more comment, which is just recommending that we watch That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Well,
So,
it's going to be on the top 10 bestseller list again. So
It is. It will be.
I don't see why we don't educate ourselves and have a little bit of some
I know.
history with
Let's
it.
have. I have a challenge for everyone. How about we say right here that by the end of the year we will have knowledge of every single series in the top 10 list, so we can have a thoughtful discussion about all 10 of them at the end of this year.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
That is okay. That's a
go.
good vow for the start of the new season.
That's our New Year's census. All right.
Thankfully, I'm a normie, so I know like 8 of them really well. So
Well, yeah, we know you like shit.
Yeah,
you like shitty manga. So
okay, we get it. We get it, Gear. We get it. You like to read everything.
you have shit taste. That's why.
I bet Spy X Family is going to be there. Ooh.
After cast time. All right.
Woo!
Let's talk about Animal Crossing. That's all I've been wanting to talk
Holy
about.
cow! I don't have it.
Because you're a
What
broke
are you, a
boy.
loser?
Jesus Christ.
No,
Get
it's
a-
because
get
listen,
a job.
I literally have a job. I've literally been because of this pandemic. I can't work. I can't make money, and so now I'm broke. And
Go
now
on unemployment.
I can't.
You make enough,
But
don't you?
This is why you save.
I do. I literally I did save, but I don't want to be spending a lot of money because I can't be making any. Because I don't want to get into my save money.
Yeah, but what are you going to be spending money on? Like, I mean, you're just sitting at home.
Facts, but like also you have. So I talked to my girlfriend about this. She loves Animal Crossing, but she is right now playing through City Folk, and so I was like, So I was like, hold on. So I told her that I was like, because she was wanting to start Animal Crossing, like she didn't want to wait, but now she's so into it that she's like, she's
actually hilarious.
She's so into it right now that she's all like, I literally do not want to stop playing City Folk because I got to get into it.
Yeah, so she was so excited for Animal Crossing that she just went to play the old ones,
And
but
then
then
got
she got
more
addicted
invested
to it.
into an older game than actually getting invested into
It's
one.
like, but it's like
hilarious.
I asked her. I said we can go and we can buy New Horizons, and I was like, and you can play that. She goes, but I haven't even paid off my mortgage in the first one, and I'm like,
Hang on.
What?
Hang on,
It's like,
hang
that's
on,
what
hang
they
on, hang
do.
on, Shrug. The first one, drop this girl right now because she is dumb as shit if she thinks that City
No,
Folk is the first Animal Crossing
listen,
game.
I know she knows it's not the first one, but she said it's like I haven't. This is her. She played through New Leaf, and now she's playing through City Folk. She wasn't meaning that it was the first game. She was just meaning like I haven't played through like.
The Animal Crossing games aren't really meant to be marathoned. Like, yeah, I'm gonna play all the Animal Crossing games.
Yeah, it's like you'll literally never do anything else.
Hey guys,
that's why I
welcome
don't
to
want to
my
play
channel. I'm gonna do a let's play of Animal Crossing in 80 years from now. All right, guys, we finished Animal Crossing. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video.
Yeah, it's like we finally did it. We've.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of speedrunners in the community for Animal Crossing. People who do like
Speedrunners?
100%,
Speedrunners?
100% pay off your mortgage, 100% fish collection, 100% bug collection. Yeah, there are speedrunners for the games.
But yeah, but playing New Horizons, I forgot how awesome Animal Crossing was, like how addicting it was, because like I had played all the games, well, most of them before, and I'd gotten really into them, but that had been years ago, so I kind of just forgot how much I liked it. But it's and this new one, like there's so much customization and stuff. It's a ton of fun.
There are some things that I don't really care for about it that I feel like they could fine tweak it, and thankfully, due to the fact that everything now is online, like we can get patches instantly. So for me, I don't like the fact that there's no durability counter for any of the tools that you use. That is annoying. But
and like it is, I mean, like there is a number, but it like only counts when you actually like dig up something or fish. Like if you miss or something, it doesn't count, so it gets confusing.
Yeah, I read something about that the other day. That to me is fairly interesting. And also, I don't like that you cannot, when you're crafting stuff, you can't make multiples of most of the stuff.
Which is really annoying when you make bait, right?
Like the fishing bait, like that to me is the most annoying thing ever. Having to sit there and literally hold the A button continuously just so that you can make as many fishing baits as you can possible.
Yeah, and that's something like that can really easily be fixed with an update, so I do hope they get around to that. Because I'm pretty sure they have a whole roadmap of updates for this one, so hopefully we get a few quality of life
and
stuff.
give or take, I've heard a lot of mixed things about not necessarily the crafting system or like the customization features, but the tool durability. It's something new, it's something different, and I mean it is annoying that you have to pretty much store a bunch of tools. But with anything else, it's an Animal Crossing game. You have all the golden tools that you have to grind for, but once you get them, you'll eventually not have to worry about tool durability again. So
Yeah.
Sick. We're talking about
But
Minecraft. Let's go.
But yeah, like I do wish like even the normal ones they lasted a bit longer, because there's a lot of times where I'm planning to go to a mystery island, but then I'm like, oh wait, but if I don't take stuff with me to craft, then I might lose my tool and I might not be able to get any more, right? So it's
well, I think the way that they've kind of gotten around that is that if you talk to the
oh yeah, you can still buy
you can buy them for Nook Miles, but it's it's something that really kind of just sucks. It's one of the features, because that to me is one of the big ones, is that in every single Animal Crossing game up until now is like your tools have always been like, okay, you can get them upgraded, but like just the standard tools are fine. Like you can make it through the game with just the standard tools. But
yeah.
that's probably the only thing I dislike about it. I'm loving the game so far. It's really taken me back. I finally got the dust off my Switch because I barely play it. I don't really have any key games that I really go to on the Switch. So for me, this is a match made in heaven. I actually really love the game. So, all right. Well, I think it's probably appropriate to end it there. Thank you all for joining us this week.
What? No. What? Huh?
It's an hour. We've been here for an hour. It's a fucking bit, Shrug. God.
It's been
End the fucking bit!